A long time ago, people smarter than myself found out that a 5-inch FPV quad was kind of like the sweet spot of everything. Weight, power, flight characteristics, the ability to tune, carry a GoPro. It just ticked all of the boxes. As technology advanced, quads got smaller, they got more powerful, batteries, motors, everything evolved and things got better. Kebab FPV, Bob Ruge, a lot of you guys don't even know because I'm on the Hdzero groups. I see how many of you have gotten into FPV and you never got to experience Bob at the pinnacle of his development cycle or his FPV cycle. He brought us pretty much one of the #1 selling frames back in the day. You can still purchase it to this day as well. The Glide, the Flaw style, it's had a few different names on it. It's been known in a few different names and a few different configurations, but he also gave us the 3-inch toothpick, which pretty much revolutionized everything. And along after that, in his continued development, he came out with this, the 4-inch he called the Fouride. And this thing has long been my favorite ship, and I think a lot of you guys would love it too. So let's talk about it now. I'm Chad, this is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. Let's talk about the Fouride here. So welcome back to the channel, guys. Like I said before, a lot of you guys I know probably don't even know who Bob Ruge is still. He's the guy that has recently came out with the videos about putting steel cables on his quads. And he did another one, oh yeah, about the new props that are coming out, I believe, from Fpvcycle. So the frame I'm talking about here is the Fpvcycle Fouride. It is a 4-inch frame that runs with Bob's matching motors, 23mm 3450 kV motor on a 3S battery. And originally his whole design concept behind this thing was to basically fit an all-in-one type of electronics board and a DJI Vista unit. And that's the way that I used to fly mine all the time. But you know how it is in FPV, we kind of go through different phases and try out different things. And I just kind of abandoned the Fouride for a while, didn't really fly it a lot. And now that Hdzero is like completely taken off, I've got my Hdzero goggles and everything, I wanted to build one of these up again and put some Hdzero components in it. So let's take a look at this puppy here first. So this is 4-inch gem fan props. We've got a 3S 1100 GNB battery, which is another key part of Bob's philosophy. This is like the highest C-rated 3S battery that you can get. And you know, this thing can carry a GoPro Session or a GoPro Bones if you wanted to, but believe me, I love this thing because it suits the kind of flying that I like to do, which is kind of like a mix between like racing, freestyle, call it proximity or whatever. You know, I just like to basically bash around and do what I want to do. And that's what I can do with this thing. This frame will take a tune, it will take hits, it'll fall, it's light enough to not hurt itself, and just some of the in particulars about the frame just really make it just really good. A simple thing as far as like this 3D printed mount here on the side to mount your antenna, and you always have good battery antenna clearance there. Even with the Hdzero 200 milliwatt VTX in here, you know, I'm getting just amazing video performance. And that really, it was the same way with DJI. This thing would fly further than any of my other DJI quads that had antennas kind of hanging out of the back and stuff. I don't know why, but it just did. So I'm going to take the actual quad apart here, take the top plate off, and show you guys what everything is looking like on the inside. So for some reason, I don't think this quad ever took off the way that it should have. And I think it's because probably everybody was broke from spending so much money on the toothpick builds and everything. And Fpvcycle was constantly out of stock on stuff. I don't really know if they're ever going to make this frame again, but it sure would be nice. I'm glad that I have an extra. But the thing to think about is that just because you think that you should have a 5-inch with a GoPro and stuff doesn't mean that you would not enjoy something smaller like this and become a better pilot. This thing here, along with my Tidy Trainer, made me a better pilot in my opinion. So starting up front, we've got the Nano 90 Hdzero camera, of course, with the upgraded lens. Right behind there, we have the Hdzero Whoop VTX, the original, not the Whoop Lite. There is a Express LRS receiver right there. And then in the back, there is a 20x20 Hobby Wing stack. Now, when Bob first made these, his whole point was to basically have a Vista in the back or somewhere along in the front and an all-in-one 25x25 board. So, you know, this has got 20x20 and 25x25 mounting holes for M2. To get the M3 here, I did have to drill out a little bit, so not a big deal. But as we know, one thing that really held these back was all-in-one boards even today are not like super dependable. I can't tell you how many on my Tiny Trainers over there fried, and I witnessed frying this year during races. You just plugging them in and they would blow up. So that kind of held this whole thing back a little bit, and that might have been why Bob stopped, you know, doing a lot of design on it and, you know, refining it. But I was always running a 20x20 stack in mine. I had like the little T-Motor mini stack. So like I said, I did have to kind of make this fit a little bit. And, you know, we got the capacitor and stuff hanging off the back. But it is all good. This thing just flies fantastic. Let's hit some footage here and just show you guys what we're looking at. So I believe conditions were pretty windy out whenever I was doing all my initial setup and testing of this quad. But we were able to iron things out and just, you know, continue to have a blast dialing in different rates and all that kind of stuff. I haven't got to fly a lot lately because I've been pretty busy and weather has not been very cooperative. But as I said, this thing takes a good tune as far as Betaflight goes. No gyro filtering, a little bit of D-term filtering, about a 1.3, 1.35 on the master multiplier slider. I did try loading some presets on here. I think the one that I had the most success with was the Spec Class 3S 5-inch tune. That seemed to work out really good. But, you know, you can see how good the Hdzero is performing as well with the goggles and, you know, a 200 milliwatt transmitter and that antenna not being really blocked by anything. And it's kind of always ready to go. So that's a big benefit of this, the whole design of this. So quick little thing, some food for thought. And I mean, I guess the whole point of the video is just that, you know, 4 inches or 3 inches is fine. Who needs a 5-inch? Hope you guys are having a great day and everything is going well in your life. Go fly some packs and have some fun. We will talk to you all later. Peace.